vintage naturals and wood for fall. Well, hey friends, this is Marla and I am raising Cain just everywhere I can. I started this fall decorating adventure by taking down the shells and bottles and the beach scene, but it's all tilted. Oh my goodness, and it's tilted again over here where I'm cleaning it off. We're sliding off the end of the earth, y'all. I don't know how I got my frame just enough crooked that I could not correct it. No matter what I tried, I couldn't correct it. So let's just forget about that. It gets better soon. But in the meantime, I found these two beautiful vintage neutral prints. I really thought they were some kind of current beautiful thing that maybe Hobby Lobby or Kirkland's was selling this season. Come to find out, they're from the 1950s. I paid $7.99 each, but they're worth more like, I don't know, over $50 for the pair from what I could find on the comparative listings. Now, at this point, you see me with my hammer, and then I'm realizing I don't have a claw on the end of that hammer to pull some of these nails out. That pitiful wall right there, it's wood paneling that's been painted. Yes, look, there's a rabbit sliding to remind us that we're still sliding off the end of the earth, but it'll get better soon. Okay, so I'm trying to maybe use nails that I've got. No, that won't work. Then I discover that somehow through the decades, the little hanging sawtooth brackets on the back of these vintage framed art pieces are nowhere near placed in the same spot on the back of the frame. So I had to take one completely off and match to the other. And I just included that to show you that it's not all just simple, put it on the wall. Sometimes you have to do all kinds of little adjustments and, rig it up, do the best you can, fix it. If you can't fix it, hide it, disguise it, But I did get that replaced, or repositioned rather. Now this dark wood box that I'm placing up there actually belongs to the very old toolbox that has my grandchildren's toys in it. But they get the little tray, that's the tray out of the toolbox. They get it, it gets in their way and they get it tangled up and messed up. So I just decided that it's beautiful and raggedy and old and beat up. I decided I would use it as decor. So I just pulled it out of the toy box because it got on their nerves anyway, which made it get on my nerves. And I put some of my very oldest books in there. Now you'll get a good close-up in a minute when I'm finished fiddling with it. But I have to put things here and there and scoot them this way and scoot them that way. I mean, that's the process. I have to decide whether I'm going to like it or I'm not going to like it. And sometimes I'll put things in a spot and then I'll walk away and look at it. Now this is the set of the little, someone told me they thought they might be Asian teacups. And I think that's a really good guess because they don't have handles, but they're very little. But they're so sweet, and they had just a very neutral little flower on each of them, so I thought that would be a good thing to use. Okay, I'm walking on my couch. It is not made for walking. If I look like I'm about to fall to my death, don't worry, I don't actually fall to my death, but I look like I'm going to more than once. Okay, then I've put a little tarnished silver plate tray, and I have to put my hands on my hips so that I can actually think about it. You can't think properly if you don't put your hands on your hips. All right, so I'm scooting the toolbox tray over, trying that there. Nope, don't like that because I don't like it overlapping the frames. Then I decide, yes, let's put the old glass jug and the little stems that came from Pop Shelf. And that's very popular this fall. And probably last fall as well. The very plume looking, pampas grass looking stuff. Tried a little wood bowl up there. Nope. Didn't like that. Thought that was distracting. Didn't like it just sitting there. So then let's see how we feel about my beautiful wood duck. I'm liking him. I'm liking him up there, but maybe not to the far right. Maybe I'll scoot him over a little bit. In the meantime, I'm also believing that that tarnished tray can belong to this vignette in some kind of way. If I just scoot things over, it will provide maybe a continuance of the darker background base. Now we're getting somewhere. All right, that little natural pumpkin that's made of, I don't know, the stuff that baskets are woven out of. There's a little wood bowl, but nope, that's too much. That's not quite right. All right, I don't think of the right thing to put there until the next day. And then I'm ever so pleased with what I do put there. Next day. There is the very old pillowcase, that old pillowcase that I just paid $1 for. It had all the very wonderful little hand stitching on it, and my little totally fake figs. I love those fake figs. Now, I haven't said this yet, but you need to understand, I would say 95% of everything you're seeing is thrifted. Now, I did get those little plumes at Pop Shelf, but oh, and remember the lovely little panels that I got. These panels. Okay, I knew I couldn't use them on my windows because there were only 2 panels that I got for about $2 each, because for the set it was $4.09. All right, I knew that I couldn't use them on my actual windows, or I wasn't liking the way that, I would have to use them on my actual windows. So I just created a way to use them by purchasing a thick dowel from Hobby Lobby. And I went back and forth about all kinds of different bracket systems that I could use. And do you know what I ended up doing? I have 16 penny nails, construction nails, big old nails. Just nailed it right in that wood wall. And I thought, okay, I'll have to go back and paint those nails the color of my wall. But you know what? I haven't done it yet, and it's really not bothered me. So maybe I'll do it and maybe I won't. Okay. I wanted the louver doors to still peep through and show just a little bit of interest there, a little bit of architectural detail. This is a 1970s ranch house that I'm living in, and it didn't get built with too much architectural interest. So anytime I can add some layers, I'm all about that. I'm liking that. The louver doors are closet doors that, when opened on the edges between the sections, is where we measured all 5 of our children's height as they grew, and we raised our children in this house. And when it was time to remodel that area and those louver doors were coming down, I protected them with my life. I said, these louver doors can never leave me. They can never leave me because they have all the children's growth marks on the inside. And that's very special to me. So, I could take a picture of it, I'm sure. And it would be okay if I did get rid of them, but I don't want to get rid of them. Okay, so at this point, I'm doing one on the right and one on the left. And it will take me a while to adjust and figure out how I'm going to, whether I'm going to be happy with how wide they're placed, or, if I want to leave them wider at the top and kind of tied back on the sides at the middle part. And that's kind of what I end up doing. All right, so now I'm surveying the balance of things and realizing that the couch somehow has gotten pushed too far to the left. So I'm pushing the couch over, and then it occurs to me that my louver doors have the knobs that are still on there from when they were closet doors. So I think, okay, let's just tuck those curtains behind the knobs, and that works very well. Pretty happy with that. Are y'all enjoying my overalls? Those came from Natural Life. They're oh my word, my rear end. I'm crazy, y'all. All right, now I have the left side hanging, and just a little bit of the closet door is peeking out because I'm tucking behind the little knob, the closet door knob. And I just happened to see at Dollar General those gorgeous silk flowers. Now I added some greenery, and they're in that metal watering can. The two panels look slightly different colors from each other in a lot of these pictures I'm noticing, but they're identical in color. I even changed out a lampshade and the light bulbs to see if I could make the lighting more realistic and more balanced, but it's still kind of that way, and I don't know what else to do about it. So there are the fake figs that look so real, thrifted for about $2. There were 6 of them in a package. And that little pillowcase, the linen, the little tiny stitches, I'm just obsessed. I'm just amazed. I love it. And those little books, that little handful of books, is very old. A lot of those are from early 1900s and some are from the late 1800s. And I still have the cap, what do you call it? The lid, the cap to that glass jug. And it's very old, and so it's just sitting beside my glass jug because I don't want to lose it. And if I put it in a drawer somewhere to keep it safe, it'll be so safe it'll be lost and I'll never know where it is again. So it has to sit there right beside it, and that's okay. The figs add just enough rich burgundy or wine color to tie in with the colors in that curtain, the 2 curtain panels. And that beautiful thrifted wood duck. I used to could remember every thrift store that I find every piece in, but I don't always now. I just know I found it somewhere in a shop. It was local. It wasn't on a trip somewhere. I can usually remember if I find something out of state or on a special journey or adventure somewhere. But those little Asian teacups, maybe that's what they are. They are ceramic. Someone has their initials scratched in the bottom and the year, something like 1978 on the bottom. See what I mean about the 2 panels looking a little bit different from each other? And I think that's because of the lighting, but I really couldn't correct it. I tried several things and it just kept looking that way. So I thought, well, it must just be meant to be for me to have a variety of of tones going on. I found some really pretty throw pillows over the past few months, and they're all thrifted. Not very much investment, except now look at this pillow here. That was a TJ Maxx splurge, and TJ Maxx is pretty reasonable. What I'm calling a splurge, I paid $24.99 for that pillow, and to me that's just extravagant because I know that I can find things at the thrift store for so much less, but sometimes you just gotta have something gorgeous when you see it. That little tiny pillow right there was $1. I thought it was so precious. That rust-colored pillow was $2, I think. And all these pillows are pretty recent finds. That chair is thrifted as well. Paid $20 for it on Facebook Marketplace. The throw is thrifted. What else? Both lamps are thrifted. The tables that the lamps are sitting on are thrifted. I mean, you'd be hard-pressed to find something that wasn't thrifted. Okay, the basket and all the little pumpkins in it are either thrifted or Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Walmart, Oh, the little vintage crocheted doily hanging out is thrifted. Of the basket, I mean. The autumn leaves garland, thrifted. And I can just barely, under that chair, I can see the little barn, one of the little barns that I got for my grandchildren to play with. It was thrifted. Now, the fireplace, I'm not quite finished playing with it, tweaking it. That's a fake fireplace, I couldn't take it if it was putting heat out. It's still too hot in Alabama. But, oh, there's my doily pumpkin sitting on a candlestick this time. And I have another pumpkin on the taller table leg pedestal. And I'm loving all those wood and natural colored garlands. The 3 wool pumpkins came from Ross. I did a short video on Ross. The natural leaf wreath, natural colored leaves, that came from Hobby Lobby. The little pumpkins that are made of sweater material. 2 of the pumpkins were torn up, but I knew I could fix it, so they let me have that strand. It was the last white strand of pumpkins they had. They let me have it for $3.75. It was normally about $12. The wool balls and wood balls, felted balls, that garland was in the Christmas section, but because it's all neutral, you can use it anytime, anywhere, any season, I guess. The plates are thrifted. That little mantle clock, thrifted. The little neutral colored eucalyptus leaves came from Pop Shelf. And that bust vase over there that looks like David, Michelangelo's David, that is thrifted. The big lanterns that flank my TV are Hobby Lobby. Those were gifted to me from my sweet daughter. I love them so much. I keep little electric lamp type candles lit all the time. They never go out. I mean, I just leave them plugged in all the time. They're very low watt, and it's just one of those things that I have decided I want it to stay on all the time, and so it does. Now that bookshelf to the far right has so many vintage books. And the top shelf is full of lanterns. Not sure if you could see that too much, but I love sets of encyclopedias. There's an old set of Matthew Henry commentary read books that was kind of down low. And here again, this pillow, can you see what it is? It's the pumpkin scene has been printed onto the fabric, but then hand stitching with very thick thread has been done to accent all the pumpkins and leaves, and it just mesmerized me. I mean, I loved it. Okay, so there's no rhyme or reason to what I do. Okay, here I am with a snow sled from New York State. It's 100 years old from my travels to North Carolina. We don't get snow here, not enough to sled on, but I have a sled. Now that's a lot for your eyes to take in. And, you know, maybe you're somewhere between minimalist and maximalist. Maybe you're not quite as full in the crowding of your groupings as I am. But let's each do what makes our hearts happy and what makes our homes happy. We need to be happy in the places where we are planted. We need to bloom where we're planted. And if your spirit sings when you see lots of beautiful things gathered together, well, then that's what you should do. If it's too much chaos for you and you can't take it unless there's just, you know, a bare minimum of items, well, then you do that. That's why everyone has their own space to decorate, so that you can do it to the taste that you need to do it to. Okay, see the tan books with the red and blue? I got that whole set for $2 at a yard sale. They're Zane Grey Westerns from very long ago. I wish I could remember the decade. It seems like it's 1930s or 40s. They're very old. Ah, the figs. Those figs, I really wish I had some actual figs. I love to eat figs. My great-grandmother had a huge fig tree behind her house that we were allowed to eat as many figs as we wanted when they were in season, when they were ripe. And I just ate a lot of figs. I loved them. And I think that's why I love those figs so much, because it makes me have such beautiful, precious memories of being at my great-grandmother's house and taking a little enamelware pan out there. she'd give me a pan and let me go pick figs. I love the colors of those books, the old faded greens and blues, and even that little thin book is a book. It's written in French, I do believe, if I recall correctly. I have a forever love of baskets. That little bitty basket with a little bit of greenery in it. I just thought that was so sweet. I've had it a good while. And maybe about a year ago, I found that old pottery looking vase that I call it my woman at the well vase, because it looks just like what I imagined the woman at the well who spoke to Jesus. I just feel like she might have had a vessel like that. And these prints really fooled me. I mean, I thought they were something that had just been produced recently. They look so much like botanical prints that I'm seeing, you know, that's been put out this year, last year. But they're old. I looked them up. The colors in these, there's two different bushes. There's one that's more coral and one that's more gold, and I added greenery in there with it, and maybe a few of the little teeny tiny looking berry stems down in there with it. But I think I could use those in the spring and summer as well. I liked the way those looked. The frames on these, the wood frames, are, I don't think distressing would have been in style in the 50s. So I think that the chippiness that we're seeing there must be authentic wear. It must have just worn off that way. And I'm not going to do a single thing to it because I really like it that way. Time for the Happy Doggy Spotlight. Such fun we have with our happy doggies, the Airedale Rudy and the wire-haired fox terrier Emma, who belong to Monica of Ohio. These are just, they look like stuffed animals. Monica, you've got stuffed animals. They're so cute. Send your doggy pics to my email address that you can see there, and I will put them in the lineup. And when I get to them, as I produce a video, I pick from the one that is next in line in the order I received. Thank you for watching, and if you have subscribed, I appreciate it so much. I love the comment section. If you click like, and if you hit that notification bell, you should find out when I'm producing a new video, when I've got it posted. Those moments when you just can't put your prayer into words, God hears your heart.